To spoil or not to spoil? That is the question. The following podcast contains spoilers for Haider. You have been warned.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new year, new us. Yes, it is me, Glenjamin Budden, along with your host, Miguel, my freaking Gusto, my boy, my man.
I got a middle name now.
Yeah, I threw it in there. Figured to spice it up just a little bit.
The spice of life is what that is. Yes,
the spice.
The spice. How you doing?
I'm not bad. We're in, like I said, we're in the new year.
Yes, we are.
Feeling a little fresh, trying to enjoy it a little bit. Hopefully I can. Hopefully we can as a society, all of us together.
Don't be daft.
Yeah, but what could ever happen?
We live in a society.
We do, actually.
Yes, we do. But yeah, it's been a long time since we've recorded. Probably longer than it has been since we've released something. It feels like it, at least. I have no idea.
It's been a while.
But what have you been up to? What movies have you watched? Let's try to get through these as fast as possible so we're not boring people here.
Yours is probably going to be a little bit longer than mine.
What? No.
I don't necessarily remember the last movie I said on the last episode. I'm just going to say them and see what happens.
Okay.
Like, I know the Matrix Resurrections we talked about.
No, we did not.
We didn't talk about it.
No, we didn't.
Perfect. There's so many things we can talk about now. What about Nightmare Alley? Did we do that one?
No, that was probably your first one. If you didn't watch,
there is a huge gap in between that and the one before that.
Yeah.
So let's start off Nightmare Alley. Me and Mike saw that together. We saw that in Bryn Mawr. Yes, we saw that.
No, we saw that at Oaks.
Did we see that at Oaks?
We saw that at Oaks.
We did. And then
what would you do without me?
I honestly probably be sleep deprived and in a coma already.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense because that's counterintuitive. But hey, what we did see though. At Bryn Mawr was being the Ricardos.
I can't believe you missed Spider-Man No Way Home.
No, that's next. That's next.
You put them in a funky thing because we saw Nightmare Alley and Spider-Man the same day.
Because I re-rated Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's I'm on my
Letterboxd
activity.
My bad.
So it's all over the place, just like my brain and the molecules inside them. Spider-Man, after being the Ricardos, No Way Home, we saw that. Indubitably a fun time. Even Mike kind of liked it, I think. It's crazy.
I thought it was okay.
Like I said, kinda.
Yeah.
After that, I watched Don't Look Up. We both watched that together. That was also the other Bryn Mawr. That was the one. It's been a long day. Could you tell?
Yeah, I could.
And then I decided to crank out the trilogy of The Matrix before we watched the new one. And it looks like I didn't rate one of them. Oh, no, I did. Oh, my God. I'm so crazy right now. Your love's got me looking. After that, I watched Pig with Nicolas Cage, the beautiful bastard that is that man. And then Every Breath You Take, it's... and then The Power of the Dog, Little Fish, Licorice Pizza, and The Tragedy of Macbeth. Let's just get through it, because holy crap.
There you go. Yeah, and then you watched Haider today.
And then, of course, Haider.
Yeah, which we'll get to in a minute. I saw 24 movies. 8 of them were rewatches. The first one I watched, I'm going to try to get through these as fast as I can. Luca, the Disney animated movie that is essentially Call Me By Your Name, but with fish people in Italy. Yep. It was fine. Nightmare Alley, which we saw at Oaks, not Bryn Mawr. We have a review of that on the YouTube. Spider-Man No Way Home, we have a review of that on the YouTube. Saw that the same day as Nightmare Alley. Riders of Justice, Mads Mikkelsen's film from 2020, released in the U.S. in 2021, so it could be possibly getting a Stony this year.
Who knows?
That was a really, really fun, good movie. I highly suggest it, especially for someone like you who loves Mads Mikkelsen.
I do.
I love Mads Mikkelsen, probably not quite as much as you do, even though it's close, but I feel like you edge me out there. But yeah, Riders of Justice is really good. Then for the 1001 movies you must see before you die, I watched Gallipoli, which is a World War I Australian film about World War I. with Mel Gibson, and, him being a drunken racist. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Then we watched Being the Ricardos at Bryn Mawr. I thought it was very meh. I gave it 2.5 stars. Then I rewatched Don't Look Up because I watched Don't Look Up before our last episode. Watched Don't Look Up with you in Bryn Mawr.
Oh, so good.
So good. Then I watched a French movie called Holy Motors. Legitimately, a little too French for me.
How? What?
Yeah, it's just me and French films don't always get along.
Yeah.
When we get along really well. But other times I'm just like, you're a little too French for me. Holy Motors.
Please back up.
Yes, Holy Motors is one of those that's a little too French for me. Then I rewatched The Matrix Reloaded, preparing for the new one. Then I watched The Kingsman, the newest Kingsman movie. Better than the second Kingsman, but still not as good as the first Kingsman. Suggest people check that out. Then I watched Matrix Revolutions, the third in the Matrix series, and then Matrix Resurrections. We have a video for that up on the YouTube. Then I on Christmas Eve rewatched Home Alone with Caitlin and my baby boy.
Oh, the boy.
Christmas Day rewatched White Christmas with my dad while we were just waiting for stuff to happen while we were hanging out. Mm-hmm. Then I rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home with my college roommate who was in town. He is a huge Spider-Man fan. He had already seen it, but he wanted to see it again, so we went and saw it. Then I saw Licorice Pizza with you. We do not have a review on that. We just wanted to chill and watch the movie.
To see it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Then I watched Tick, Tick, Boom with Andrew Garfield, which is about the guy, Jonathan Larson, who wrote Rent, but died before it was ever shown in public. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really good, for what it is.
For musicals and such.
I like musicals, but it takes a lot for me to love a musical.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But I really like this one.
This is up there for me.
Yeah,
as far as most of them go.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I want to see the what is it, Superbia? The musical that he's writing within
this movie.
This musical.
Yeah.
Because that seems like it'd be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so saw that. Then rewatched the Matrix Resurrections with Papa Hicks. He really enjoyed it. Then I went to the fanciest fucking Regal I've ever been to. Regal Warrington 22 to see Red Rocket.
Yeah.
They charged me $1 because it was like a luxury theater, and I just didn't even care.
I mean,
because I have the unlimited, and I was just like, you know what? I don't think that's fair, but it's only $1, and this place is fancy as fuck, so I'm just gonna let it slide this time.
Yeah, I was being sent pictures of that theater as it was being built by the by the boss in that area.
It is impressive. It is an impressive theater. So yeah, anyone that is in the area, go check out that theater. Red Rocket was a movie by Sean Baker with Simon Rex about a ex-porn star who is also not also an ex-porn star. It's really confusing. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's really funny. He's kind of just a dickhead the whole time, which is kind of the whole point of the movie.
Yeah.
Hence the name Red Rocket. Yeah, it's a good movie. If you like Sean Baker, you're going to like this movie. If you don't like Sean Baker, could go either way. Probably leaning towards not liking it, though. Then I watched Finch with Tom Hanks, which is like a futuristic movie in a dystopian future where he's like this inventor living by himself. It is what Chappie wanted to be.
Oh, Chappie. My soul quenched a little bit, just saddened.
You should watch Finch then, because it's not a great movie, but it's you could see, watching it, I was reminded a lot of Chappie minus the stupid rapper people. But yeah, it's I highly suggest people check out Finch. It's a solid movie. Really strong ending. I won't say anything more than that.
Okay.
Then I rewatched for a third time Don't Look Up because Caitlin wanted to watch it and it came out on Netflix.
It's just so good.
It is so good. And it stays good every time I watch it. Every time. Honestly, you people who don't like it, what's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Legitimately, I cannot understand why anyone dislikes this movie.
You gotta be the people in this movie.
You gotta be the people in the movie. I honestly don't. Hit me up. Explain to me why you don't like it. other than it's too on the nose. Because guess what? That's the fucking point.
That is
It's
literally
supposed
the
to be.
point.
It's
You ever watched a
supposed to
movie
be on
called
the nose.
Idiocracy, friends?
Yes. That's the only thing people have said. Is like, oh, it's too on the nose. Yeah, that's the point, Betty. Oh, R.I.P. I don't know why he said Betty. I did not mean to say Betty.
Too soon.
Too soon. But then we saw the tragedy in Macbeth on New Year's Day at the Colonial. Joel Cohen film. Really good, but Shakespeare, so hard for us dum-dums to understand.
Yeah, what do word do?
What do word do? Then I watched Haider, which we'll get into in just a minute. And then I watched, finally, Jacob's Ladder, which is a film about, like, the soldiers who were part of the LSD experiment during Vietnam, which I did not know going in. I thought it was just a horror movie.
Yeah.
But it's actually like a horror movie based in history, and I really, really liked it. It's a good film. Jacob's Ladder from 1990 with Tim Robbins. Highly suggest people check that out. But let's get into some news. I already alluded to it accidentally. As everyone knows by now, Betty White died under 3 weeks before her 100th birthday.
So close. She was right there.
I don't know if this is real or not, but I've seen multiple pictures of people posting the cover for People magazine, and it says Betty White celebrates her 100th birthday. Like it got sent out to.
There was a bunch of Regal trailers for celebrating her 100th birthday too in the movies on Friday.
Oh boy, you don't make these things at that. You celebrate her 100th birthday after it's done.
Yeah.
It's such a shame, but
Yeah, it was
legend lost.
The news broke out. I think it was definitely Friday while I was at work. I think
it was New Year. Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. She didn't even.
And it was around noon I found out, and then around around 5 or 6 is when my buddy went to the movies. He's like, dude, they're playing a Betty White 100th birthday trailer right before the movie. I'm like, what? They had time to pull those trailers. Oh my god.
Yeah. Ugh. But yeah.
But very saddened. She was hilarious as a human being and just a legend. An absolute
legend.
Maniac of a legend. And she will be missed.
That she will. Always one to make a good joke. Saw this video of her verbally abusing Ryan Reynolds, and then when he returned it, just played the victim, and it was hilarious.
And Sandra's just like, you're not a national treasure, Ryan. She is.
It's great. She will be missed. Great loss of talent there. And great year. Great way to start off the year. But without any further ado, let's get into Haider, which some of you may know I mispronounced last episode. So my apologies.
हैदर, मेरा इंतकाम लेना मेरे भाई से। उसकी उन दोनों आंखों में गोलियां दागना जिन आंखों से उसने तुम्हारी मां पर फरेब डाले थे। चले ही चले दिए से चले रहे सारी जिंदगी, वरना तू भी डिसअपीयर हो जाएगा अपने बाप की तरह।
मैं खुद के अपने भाई गायब है कई महीनों से।
डिसअपीयर्ड लोगों की बीवियां आधी बेवा कहलाती हैं यहाँ, हाफ विडोज।
एक भूख से मिया सब उड़ गया धुआं, वो जो सांस की एक फांस थी वो निकल गई जो खराश थी।
I have loved you more than my life.
वो खलिश गई।
माँ जब झूठ बोले ना नहीं अच्छी लगती, दिल की दर्द सुनो तो है।
Haider, a young man returns to Kashmir after his father's disappearance to confront his uncle, whom he suspects of playing a role in his father's fate. It's directed by Vishal Bhardwaj, based on the play Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Basharat Peer, written by Basharat Peer and Vishal Bhardwaj. It is starring Shahid Kapoor, Tabu, Shraddha Kapoor, and KK Menon, as well as others. Irfan Khan is in there. I had been wanting to watch this for a while because I had watched the trailer And, you know, I like Bollywood movies, but I don't like all the song and dance numbers that are in them.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes them out, but they do have a lot of really good movies. We've watched at least one, if not two, on here. Definitely Stree, the horror comedy film. That was good. But I wanted to watch this, but it like 2 hours, 40 minutes. I don't like forcing people to watch that just for a podcast. I will every now and then, but I don't like to. But
we'll make you, goddamn.
Oh yeah,
we'll do it.
And since we took off time, I was like, you know what, perfect time to watch Haider, something that's been on my watch list for quite some time, and I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a much darker film than even like after the trailer I was expecting from Bollywood. Like, yes, there were Bollywood elements to it, but it was extremely dark.
Even the Bollywood moments, like the song and dance parts, they fit for the most part.
Yeah,
especially the one where he's like doing the song and dance at the wedding after his uncle and his mother just got married.
yeah, essentially calling them out in front of everyone.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant way to have the song and dance, but not in the normal Bollywood way where it detracts from the story. It's like a story break. This is actually part of the story, and that song's a jam. It's
all of them are Jimmy Jams.
all of them are Jimmy Jams.
They are.
But the number one thing for me, like this being shot in Kashmir, the Kashmir region, was just brilliant. It is such a beautiful region, and not something you normally think of when you think of India. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. I believe it is part of India and also part of Pakistan, and they both kind of.
You would assume it's like a middle ground because it is like a war between India and like the Pakistani forces.
Yeah, this is like based off of conflicts in the Kashmir region in the 90s. So it's not an entire fabrication that's just based off the Hamlet play. They take Hamlet and then put it into the Kashmir region in the 90s. But I just mean like I'm not sure if it is part Pakistan, part India in Kashmir, or if it's still disputed today. I don't know, and if I apologize if I offended anyone by saying it is in India.
We just don't know.
We don't know. I could look it up, but honestly, I should have looked it up before we started recording, and I'm not going to take the time to do that now. But yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it had great acting. Shahid Kapoor absolutely killed it, especially when he started going crazy.
Yeah, really killed it as soon as he, found some things out, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as he hit that mid marker there in the middle of the movie, it's just a game changer. Like, he was almost a completely different character in a way.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this a little bit before recording. You don't know too much about Hamlet. I know enough about Hamlet to kind of remember things. Like, in Hamlet, his girlfriend or wife, her name's Ophelia, and she kills herself. So when I was watching this the entire time, I was just waiting for the scene.
That poor woman's gonna go down.
Yeah, where Arshia, who is the Ophelia, person in this, I was just like, she's gonna kill herself at some point. So in a way, I kind of wish I didn't know enough about Hamlet, because it would have made it more impactful. Instead of me just waiting for it to happen, I would have
I did.
let it happen.
I did have Hamlet in like my 12th grade English class. Like, I did do the play, but I didn't pay attention in school. I didn't care most of the time, and most of the time I was actually asleep or just literally probably flirting to figure out what the homework last night was. But yeah, I almost obviously I know the to be or not to be speech.
Yeah, everyone does.
Everybody basically had to recite that, and I still kind of have it down. I'm not going to do it right now, but other than that, I basically know jack shit about Shakespeare.
When we read it in high school, none of the girls wanted to read any of the parts. Like they all refused to for some reason. Yeah, and so I played Ophelia.
Oh, you're the perfect person too.
Well, I volunteered. Like, no one else was volunteering, and like the teacher was just taking too long to accept that no one was volunteering. So like, I'll do it. So I just did it in a high pitched voice the whole time, and people really appreciated that. And
I do too.
Yeah, it was a fun time. But that's the main reason I remember that she kills herself, because I played Ophelia in school. But no, it's a very good story, and you know, from Shakespeare's perspective, and also how they translated it to the Kashmir region conflicts. But you know, just the whole idea of Hamlet coming home, or Haider coming home, and finding that his father, I believe in Hamlet, he's just straight up dead. Like he knows he's
straight
dead.
up zonked.
Yeah, and in this, he's like, maybe he's still alive, maybe he's not. And of course, the questioning of the uncle comes into play, and it really sets the tone for you early on that something's not quite right with everyone involved, because like the way they show. So when they like the police come and are raiding people's homes and everything, and they're honking whenever they see someone who might be an informant, and then when they see him, they like lean on the horn way harder than they had for anyone else. You're like, okay, something's up here. If that's so, they do a really good job at introducing that mystery, and staying on that, and it really. I think the biggest flaw with this film is how long it takes to get to the part where Haider kind of loses his mind a bit. I feel like it could have gotten there a little bit sooner, but I also appreciate the character development that happens within that time.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was long. I mean, obviously it's a Bollywood film, so they usually tend to be long. But that initial arc up to that point definitely paid off, because that second half really is great. And then I mean, you had that first half to really enjoy that second half. Not that it was bad in any way. It was just you got all that character arc from, you know, him being cautious of everybody and everything like that, and then he figures everything out, and bada bing bada boom. You know, he's connecting dots and just losing his mind and shit like that.
Can we just talk about how much better Shahid Kapoor looks with a buzzed head and a thick beard?
He does.
Like, he goes from looking like a little weenie.
Yeah, to straight like, little wiener.
Little ween. Like, I'm sure, granted, it's a period piece. It's supposed to be the 90s, but his hair is bad.
His hair is bad. A lot of their hair were bad. Especially those two store clerks who were basically informants for the one two.
They kept doing the hair flip.
Yes, Salman and Salman.
Yeah, but then when he buzzes his head and has like a thick beard, he turns into like a straight up fucking
thirst trap.
Yeah, thirst trap, and just you know, like he looks like the kind of crazy you'd want to take home for a bit.
That's okay with me.
No, he legitimately like. The whole time I was like, they had to have gotten two different actors. He looks like two different people.
He really did. Like even like they were saying his name, like Haider. I'm like, that's not the same dude, man. Who are you talking about?
I've seen stills of the other dude, and this is not him.
Yeah,
no, it's him. And honestly, like,
well, it even showed just that transition, just with the hairstyle and whatever, just like how much he got immature from the way he acted, but he like matured in the fact that now it was kind of like I'm out for revenge and just like you know, pity party type thing, to now he's like, I'm dead set on this. And
and it kind of hints towards his more becoming more militant as well. Yeah, because like he wants to be militant when he's a teenager, and then his parents send him away, and he's not really militant, and then he's kind of like, something happened to my dad, but still not really interested in being militant, and then he finds out that his uncle set him up and his mom helped, and he loses his mind, and then like just him shaving. I think the next time you see him after he finds that out and he jumps off the bridge that his father was thrown off of. That like has the noose around his neck in the city square, and is like performing a monologue about the government and everything, and I like, it's just visually is such a jarring transition, but it happens so smoothly at the same time.
Yeah, and it's such a night and day, like I said earlier, between the two same character, like the same, like how different it is.
Yeah.
and he did fantastic.
Absolutely. His performance, I mean, obviously, his performance was more subdued before he went crazy, but like when he started like becoming angry and losing his mind, he like Oscar-worthy performance, in my opinion, or whatever the Oscar equivalent in Bollywood is. Because
I mean, it did win a lot. I do see that.
Yeah, it deserves it too. It's great film. Great cinematography. Even the song and dance numbers in it make sense, and are entertaining, and it works. Everything works about it.
Everything works,
really,
especially like if you've never really been into Hamlet in any sort of way. Like this is a good straight up interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's got everything. It's even got like the "to be or not to be" line. Although in the play it is more Hamlet talking to himself, and in this he's like philosophizing.
Yeah,
with
they do say
Ashira.
They do say "to be or not to be" with the two Salmon characters, and then at one point, he is sitting in a graveyard with a skull, but he doesn't have that whole philosophical speech. But he does have some sort of talk with. He's talking to a kid or something like that. Right?
With the skull, he's talking to the gravediggers and a kid. But that's I think in the play he's holding the skull when he's doing "to be or not to be."
Yeah, and he's talking to himself.
Yeah. But visually it's great. Irfan Khan's character has the most badass entrance.
I was about to say, can we talk about that introduction?
Dude, it's like straight up like, I don't know. Like it felt like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Yeah.
He walks in and dubsteps
I know
playing.
what happened to your father.
You have to follow me. I have a message.
Follow me if you want to know what happened to him.
He just walks in with this brooding sexiness, and like this, he's following the what's her name? It's Arshia. He's like following Arshia around, and he's just like, oh, is he about to hit on Arshia? Well, what is going on? I want him to do it. It was so funny.
It's okay, Arshia. Go with him. He's
got dubstep behind him. He can't be all that bad.
Yeah, it was great, and it was cool to see also through flashbacks from his perspective what happened to his father. I thought it was really cool, and tying up this movie at the end by telling that it's not completely fiction and that people did go missing and are still missing really just made the whole film even more powerful than it already was through everything else about it. But I can't say enough about this movie. It's really great. I enjoyed it exponentially, and really my only problem is how slow it takes in the beginning. But
if I had to pick out any gripes, I mean, with most Bollywood movies, there are some moments of overacting a lot. I mean, there's that. There wasn't that much. I mean, the story and the characters within it held it down a little bit. Not held it down as in bad, but like held that bad part down of the overacting. And then of course, as you said there, the first like hour and a half takes a little too long to get to that point where you're genuinely interested now. Where basically he snaps and becomes this different character in a way, this militant character, and I wish it was a little bit faster. But overall, it was a really good film. Yeah,
I agree. And also they did a good job with like the two video store guys, Salman 1 and Salman 2. I liked them until they betrayed Haider. And then like I was rooting for him to kill them, and I was like,
What's crazy is how much more accurate he was with a rock or multiple rocks than pistol shots.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was just kind of like Bollywood fun. I feel.
It was funny. I'm just like, how did you not hit them, but you hit them with a rock? Multiple rocks. That's crazy.
That was a fun sequence, and honestly, it's a very satisfying ending. Even with him not killing his uncle. It makes it satisfying because you realize his uncle at that point wants to die. So, like, you know, when in revenge movies, you always want to pick the worst outcome, and for him, the worst outcome was to stay alive without your legs.
I've always loved the story of revenge begets revenge, because it's just a long road to ruin. No matter who you are, it's just gonna keep going. It's just gonna keep being bad. And this was one of those movies where it was just way too good. How dare it?
How dare it? But that's all I got to say.
Same here, buddy.
All right, so that does it for our review for Haider. That brings us to the judgment. Does it become a shelf boy with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden? First time saying it of 2022. Since it was my pick, I am going to go first. I really, like, this movie exceeded my expectations for how good it was. Everyone talked about how good it was, but at the same time, and I admit this is a little prejudice for the movies for me, but Bollywood movies, I always go in with just an expectation to be slightly disappointed.
We could usually only go one way or another for the most part.
And I'm either really, really impressed with them or disappointed in them. There's very rare that it's like down the middle for me. This was definitely impressed. So, Shahid Kapoor, he was great. His performances were great. It was just a satisfying movie, as I said. So I'm going to say yes, it does go on the shelf.
I would say so too. I would also say that almost all the cast was great. All the supporting cast. I mean, he was fantastic, but definitely his mother, his girlfriend, and even his uncle. They were all
KK Menon. He was really good. He was the thing about him. We didn't talk about him too much, and I kind of regret it. Is that he did a good job at making you second guess if he was involved until you knew for a fact he was involved.
Because when he's first introduced, he's kind of like this goofy. Like it feels like he's like a goofy dunce uncle. Yeah. And then you find out, what he actually is, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, are you sure? Is like that a thing? There's no way. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely put this on the shelf as well. As you said, Bollywood movies are hard to either be really good for, us specifically. And also it's I feel like it's hard to interpret a story that was, made so long ago and put it in today's standards and everything. And this did really well of doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them could become cheesy, but this wasn't one of those ones where it fit right in.
Yeah. So, Haider makes it onto the shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden, the first shelf boy of 2022. That brings us to our assignment for next week. Glenn, it is your turn to pick. What are we watching next week?
So this one's going to be a rewatch for me, but I noticed you hadn't rewatched it. This is one that I've been wanting to rewatch for a little bit. It came out in 2011, and I've just been sitting. And I know we've got an Owen Wilson movie coming out soon with J-Lo that we're definitely going to see. And you have no choice.
Not the assignment, just so everyone knows, but the movie Marry Me with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. There was a moment in the theater. We had seen the trailer maybe 10 times out of all the movies we've seen together. And Glenn just goes, is it bad that I kind of want to see that? And I just go... I kind of want to see it too. Like, just for Owen Wilson.
Just for Owen Wilson. Everything else about the movie is just the basic cookie cutter Valentine's Day movie. Yeah. But Owen Wilson in this, for some reason, is just a normal ass dude, and I just want to be there for him. I'll be like, wow, this is crazy.
Why won't you go with me to the school dance?
But my movie is going to be Midnight in Paris.
I mean, this is unbelievable. There's no city like this in the world.
You're in love with a fantasy.
I'm in love with you.
What are you doing here? Dad's here on business, and we just decided to reload along.
Oh. That's great. We can spend some time together.
I think we have a lot of commitments, but I'm sure it's...
What?
If I'm not mistaken, Rodin's work was influenced by his wife, Camille.
Rose was the wife.
No, he was never married to Rose.
I hope you're not going to be as antisocial tomorrow.
I'm not quite as taken with him as you are. I mean, he's a pseudo-intellectual.
Slightly more tannic than the 59. I prefer a smoky feeling. Carol and I are going to go dancing. We heard of a great place. Interested?
No. I don't want to be a killjoy, but I need to get a little fresh air.
While in a trip to Paris with his fiance's family, a nostalgic screenwriter finds himself mysteriously going back to the 1920s every day at midnight. Written and directed by Woody Allen, stars Owen Wilson, Rachel McAdam, Kathy Bates, Kurt Fuller, and just a couple other people in there, or Michael Sheen. I know there's a lot hate towards Woody Allen, and I didn't want to pick it for that reason. I just know that
I stopped watching Woody Allen for that reason, which is why I haven't seen this. But I'll watch it.
Besides the fact that it's made by Woody Allen, I don't want to support anything he did. But I think I remember liking this movie a lot when it came out, and I want to rewatch to see if I actually do care about it anymore. But that's the test here. What's going to happen? Who knows?
Yeah, and for those of you who don't want to watch it because of Woody Allen, we completely understand. You can skip out on this coming episode and just follow our Instagram to know what we're going to watch after this.
Yep, just go watch Marry Me instead.
Marry me, marry me, marry me. Wow. But that's on Hulu, you said?
What the fuck?
It's on Hulu. I'm looking at it right now.
You're the man. Congratulations.
So yes, Midnight in Paris on Hulu. That is our assignment for next week. Thank you everyone for listening. As always, you can check out our website at www.keystonefilmreview.com. On Instagram, we're Keystone_film_review. Twitter, Keystone_film. Facebook, Keystone Film Review. YouTube, Keystone Film Review. TikTok, Keystone Film Review. And on Letterboxd, I'm Mike, KFR.
And I am Glenn, KFR.
And that will do it until next week, when we may or may not regret watching this movie because of Woody Allen. Because of Woody Allen. The horrible things he's done.
That bastard.
Sorry, but also we watch movies. That's what we do.
We just watch movies.
Yeah. Bye. Everybody.